Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So today what we're going to be doing is refactoring our first application into a more production looking application where we have our own separate modules, a clean main function, and a dependency manager. For Go, what we're going to be using is a Go.mod file. And what that does is it's kind of like the your Gradle file or your Maven file, where it holds all of your dependencies and its versions, so that you don't have to download anything really whenever you're developing, or you push this off to some sort of repository. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump in and do it. So what we want to do is declare this go.mod file. And this go.mod file is typically made up of 3 sections, and that's the module name. And it's usually whatever directory it's in. In our case, it's first app. And the version of Go, to check to see what version of Go you're running, just do a Go version command inside of your terminal, and in my case it's Go 1.14. After doing this, if you have VS Code and the Go package extension installed right here, it makes interacting with this go.mod file a lot easier, in the sense that it automatically imports the dependencies that you've already used inside of your project. So as you can see right now, all we have is this go.mod file and a main.go, a main method really. So whenever you declare this file, you want to do go mod tidy inside of your application, and there you go. You see how it automatically added this the chi router. That was thanks to that go mod tidy command. It saw that inside of our main package we were using this external package, and added to our dependency manager. So yeah, it's great. All right, so now what we're gonna do is clean up this main function here, because it's looking a little too much right now. Let's go ahead and create let's create a users module. Why not? Users. And inside of this users, this looks really weird, but inside of this users module, let's go ahead and add, not a folder, but a file. We'll have our routes in there, router.go. We'll have our handler.go file. And then we'll have a model.go file. And we can keep these routers here for now. Well, let's just call this, I don't know, API/get user you got user 1, and then post is update user, and we'll put this here, you just updated user 1 for now. Okay, so let's go ahead and move our handler functions out of our main file and into this users package. Now these files, in order to access them, each Go file needs to be part of some sort of package. In this case, since it's inside of the users directory that we created, it's a part of the users package. And what we want to do here is just copy and paste our code. And just to show you that this still works, let's go ahead and make these public for now. Those of you who don't know, when you declare the first letter of a function in Go lowercase, it's only accessible within the realm of the package it's declared in. So this get handler function, I would only be able to access inside this model.go file, this router.go file, but not my main.go file. So in this case, just start off, we're going to make this public so I can access it in here directly inside of our main.go file. You see we removed these functions. So if we go ahead and save, it's going to say undefined. Now, in order to access these two handlers that we just put in here, we have to reference the package users dot and then whatever method is inside of that. In this case, it's get handler. Oh, I'm sorry. We need to do since we declared a new package, we have to do a go mod tidy to make sure it's added to all of that. Undefined users. Package.users main.go user. Oh, let's go ahead and do users.get handler. Yeah, okay, so imported here. Thank goodness. So yeah, now let's just, this one shouldn't really be working, but let's do users.post handler. Yes, this one, get handler, post handler, and do a go run cmd main.go. Right, so inside of these files inside of our package, we have to declare that they're all part of this users package, or else Go won't like it. Okay, so that should be sufficient. Let's go ahead and clear our terminal and rerun our main.go file. Undefined users.post handler. Did I not? Function post handler. Yeah, that should be, oh, post handler. The H was lowercase. Okay, so now it should work. No errors, we allow, and our application should be up and running. Now, in order to test this endpoint, what we want to do is hit the API/getUser endpoint, and we should see that string return to us saying you got user 1. API/getUser. API/getUser. Oh, capital. Gosh, I'm all over the place today. So there we go. You got user 1. Now let's go ahead and try the post endpoint. API/update user, and make this a post request and send that. You just updated user 1. So everything's working, and we can refactor this even more and clean up our main method even more, believe it or not. And we can do this we can remove this entire chunk of code here. And the way that we do that is copy and paste. But yeah, so remove this. Go inside of your users package into the router.go, and let's declare a function called users And let's do, we really should have made our own router package. Let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that first. Declare a router package, and then a new file, router.go, and then put this inside the package, the router package, and declare a function called start server. Sure, yeah, let's call it that. And copy and paste that code in there and return our router, and make this function return a chi.mux, because we want to return the router. This router here is what has all of these endpoints, really. So we're not done yet. What we did is declared a function that sets up all these routes and returns it back to us. Now, if we run this, not all we're going to see is this, and we don't want that. We want the router to be, we want our application to be working. So what do? We do the exact same thing we did when we referenced the users package. We do a router dot start server function. And once you save that, all those imports went away. The go.mod file and VS Code imported the right package, the router package. And if we go in here, we can see that that's the start server function that's being called, and it does all of this for us. So let's go ahead and run this again. Go run main.go. As you can see, everything's working the exact same way that it was before. You just updated user, get users, gosh dang it, get user, and then let's execute that. Got user 1. So our APIs are still working. Our endpoints are still working. And what we want to do now is we can modularize this even further. And the way we want to do this is let's go ahead and copy or cut all of this out, these two endpoints out. Or you know what, let's cut these out. We don't need to do this right now. Well, we'll do that in a second. Let's go into the users package, and in the router.go, we can go ahead and copy that actually, and go here and declare a users routes function that has, we want to return a chi.mux. Same thing, that we did before. We're going to declare a router, type of chi.new router, right? And then return that. So it satisfies the function. And as you can see here, we're getting an error that this handler doesn't exist, because we don't need a references package anymore, because now we're inside the same exact package as the handler.go. So we need these two handlers, right? To reference that, all we need to do is just put the name of the handler right there. And our Go just knows that it's in there. Now we can go one step further and declare these as private. So now they're not accessible across your entire application. And nothing should have broken here. Everything should still be working. the only next step that we have to do is we can remove this here inside of our start server function, and we can actually mount this chi router thing. Has a nice little function where we can mount different routes to we can stack our routes on top of each other. So let's call this our users endpoint, and what it takes in is a handler, and in this case our handler is going to be inside of our router.go file, and that is called users routes. So we're mounting these two endpoints on top of this router. So the way we reference that is our users package dot users routes, and make sure it's a function. So everything should still be working after this. The only thing, we haven't changed anything except changed the location of our code and cleaned everything up a little bit. And let's just go ahead and make this a little better to read, because what we're doing here is whenever we run our application, we're calling this router.startServer file, which is in here. And whenever it starts here, it's declaring a router and mounting this up here. Well, if it's mounting on top of it, we want to call this API. And then /users. Now let's do lowercase. And then inside of our users routes, we can go ahead and just get rid of this and get rid of this, and that should be sufficient. So now whenever we hit an endpoint, whenever we hit our application, we'll start it, and it'll start this server in here, and it'll look for this path, API/users, and go inside here. If it matches, if our endpoint matches with this, it'll go in here and into our routes and checks to see if it matches either of these. And if it matches one of these, it goes inside of this. The handler, in our case, is in here. It doesn't have to be in here, but to keep things clean and nice, we declare it inside the same package. And then it returns everything here. So yeah, let's go ahead and run our application and just make sure everything still works. No errors or anything. That's always good. We still have our clean main method. Now, what we should do is hit the localhost /API/users. Is it users or user? Users /get user endpoint. That should still give us you got user 1, and it did. Now what we want to do is try out the other one. It's a post request, and it's at update user, at the update user path. Still the same URL, and boom, you just added user 1. Now, I don't want to stretch out this video longer than it has to be, but that's the main gist of it, of refactoring our code into more of a production type environment. In future, in another video, I'll show you how to add a model and into your handler, and eventually add a service, and just build an entire application with you guys. So make sure you like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the video, and if there's anything in particular you want to talk about, or if you want to see a video of. I will be checking it every single day. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. This has been a lot of fun. See you guys next time.